What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel. And before I get started, I just want to let you guys know, if you like what you see here on this channel, don't be shy to give this video a thumbs up or give me a subscribe. That would be much appreciated, as I'm only a few subs away from 3,150. Weird number to look forward to, but hey, it's a number nonetheless. And stick around for this video because I am here to review another big album that come out just today on Black Friday. And also, I hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving and a safe Black Friday, as hopefully you got your shopping in. I got pretty much 99% of my shopping done, just one little thing left, but that'll come later. But I am here to review for the first time in 8 long years, this band has finally released and graced us with a brand new album. And that is one of the pioneers of the Swedish melodic death metal sound, Hypocrisy, and their album Worship. So, brief little history lesson about Hypocrisy for you guys who are maybe not aware. Hypocrisy initially started under the name Seagate back in 1988 through 1991, but this was during a time when the mastermind behind the band, Peter Tägtgren, was in the US, was here in the States, part of the death metal scene here, and jamming with people from Malevolent Creation and so on and so forth, before moving back to Sweden and forming and pretty much ending Seagate and forming Hypocrisy. And initially, according to Peter Tägtgren on a recent interview he did, LG Petrov, may he rest in peace, from Entombed, almost became the singer of Hypocrisy. And could you imagine how that would have been? That would have been incredible. But he went back to Entombed around the time Hypocrisy was recording their early demos. And first couple of albums, more straight up death metal. And then you get to albums like The Fourth Dimension and especially Abducted, where they pretty much went away from just straight up death metal and began to embrace what was about to explode, and that's melodic death metal. And really, ever since then, they've been mostly consistent with everything that they've done up to 2013 with their last album, End of Disclosure. And then the band's just been kind of on and off since then because, Peter's busy with producing albums, his other band Pain, among so many other things he's doing. But here in 2021, we finally get a new album. And already from the album cover, it looks like we're back to the alien sci-fi kind of aspect with the lyrics and the themes behind it. And we kick things off with the title track, which starts off with some beautiful acoustic guitar melodies, and the electric guitars come in as it carries those melodies forward. Afterwards, a huge scream from Peter, and it gets into this thrashy energy that I absolutely love about melodic death metal, particularly the early stuff. Peter's voice then goes quite low in the register, not as guttural as someone like a Frank Mullen or a Joe Vychek, but guttural in his own right to showcase his talents as a death metal vocalist. And then the melodies in this song turn quite sinister as Peter's solo is very eerie on this song. And then towards the end, Peter's voice even gets a bit black metal towards the end, which adds a whole nother dimension to his vocal approach. And then we get to one of the lead singles of the album, Chemical Horror, which the music video to this as well, very, very creepy and yet really, really cool. Dark melody to start this one off. The riffs are chugging along with that melody to add more heaviness and depth to the track. It does get a bit somber with the melody eventually, and the chorus on this song, arguably the most memorable chorus of the entire album for me, as this track kind of carries on a bit of a groove all throughout. Greedy Bastards, more of those chugging riffs coming in to start this track off, and then the melody in the chorus kind of carries a bit of an epic quality to it, plus another memorable chorus. And the song continues to chug along with the riffs creating some catchy moments all throughout, with a little kind of tapping solo at the end. Not a whole lot of guitar solos on this album, which is a bit disappointing. Then we get into Dead World. Now, this song is very interesting for a Hypocrisy album. This is very Fear Factory-esque. Like, the riffing is very much like Fear Factory. The way the bass and the drums are working together feels very Fear Factory. And even the lyrics feels like something you would hear on Fear Factory. I'm not knocking the song for sounding like Fear Factory. I actually like it for that reason, because after all, Fear Factory is a big influence on Peter, particularly with his band Pain, which this song, minus the vocals, could have fit on a Pain album because it's very industrial-esque to me on this song. And even the music video, too, looks like a mixture of like a Cannibal Corpse video and a Fear Factory video if you watched the music video to this song. But then we get into something completely different for Hypocrisy. We get We're the Walking Dead, which starts off with dark, clean guitars and even a Mellotron before it turns doomy and depressing right off the bat, as I can hear influences coming in here from bands like Swallow the Sun, Hooded Menace, and even a big inspiration on Peter as well, Asphyx, on this song, as this song just is, this is a death doom song, and it's got that nice balance between dissonant heaviness and gentle melody on top, which is why I included Swallow the Sun in what I was hearing on this track, because some of the melodies on this song felt very much like Swallow the Sun, while the riffing felt like Asphyx or a Hooded Menace track. So this was definitely a standout for me personally, because I do like death doom. Not as much as a certain friend of mine, Ricky, but I do enjoy death doom. Then we get into something else that's different. Brotherhood of the Serpent, where they get heavier on this song. For those who saw my Obscura review, you guys will remember when I talked about the song Devoured Usurper and how that felt like a Morbid Angel song. Here we get another one of those. This song is very Morbid Angel-esque. The riffing, the drumming, and how it stays in that middle ground between slow and mid-tempo. And some epic melodies come back on here too, and even some blast beats, but they were more like the Dirk Blast. For those who don't know, the Dirk Blast is a blast beat created by Dirk Verburen, who was formerly of Soilwork, Aborted, currently in Megadeth, among so many other bands. But yeah, we hear a Dirk Blast on this song. But yeah, this song is very Morbid Angel inspired, and it does hold some similarities even to that song Devoured Usurper by Obscura, in like the guitar tone. Then we get to Children of the Grey, and this one I feel is like the most Hypocrisy sounding track out of the whole album. Starting off with more of those somber, clean guitars as it leads into some chug in the riffing. Peter's vocals getting raspy here, and one of the best riffs I've ever heard Hypocrisy do shows up on here as well. The melody throughout this track is somber yet epic. The reason why I say this is probably the most Hypocrisy sounding song of the whole album is because it has a lot of vibes of probably my favorite Hypocrisy song of all time, Roswell 47. It feels like a part 2 to that song, and it's almost as good as the original. I really like the song for that reason. Another Day, more thrashing energy, and even some Amon Amarth style melodies, and how it gives you a sense of epic battle to it, and even a little bit of power metal thrown into the mix. And then towards the end we get a memorable breakdown that's very reminiscent of the classic breakdown in the Slayer song Ghosts of War. It's very similar in that sense. They Will Arrive, starting off chuggy, kind of similar to something I would hear in Decapitated. Love the melodic guitar work on the chorus as it carries forth more feeling of battle, yet it has a feeling of victory on top. And even Peter doing a spoken word section that sounds like he's talking through a radio transmitter. Then we get to the penultimate track, Bug in the Net, which has a more uplifting vibe to it, like the beautiful clean guitars to provide that sense of of feeling to it and more uplifting. And even as the distortion comes in with a faint keyboard in the background, it adds more to that uplifting tone, as this song just kind of had a feeling of hope to it, with a space transmission sample showing up too. And then we get to the final song, Gods of the Underworld. Great double bass work on the drums, and the guitars carrying on an epic vibe before things slow back down to the chugging territory. Beautiful melodic leads in the middle, and then at the very end to just add more flavor to the song. But overall, production-wise, you can't go wrong with Peter Tägtgren's production. He's just one of the greatest producers in the history of metal, particularly in death metal, but in all of metal that he's worked on. He does a fantastic job. Everything's mixed perfectly. The guitars, the vocals, the bass, the drums, keyboards. Well, the keyboard in Bug in the Net did sound a little bit faint, but the Mellotron at the start of Where the Walking Dead was beautifully done. Beautifully mixed. And lyrically, you know, Peter going on about quite a few things, about aliens, sci-fi stuff, and even some real-life shit that should not be happening. And after all, Peter's personality is like, I don't care who I piss off, and if you get offended, I'm going to say what's on my mind. And I can very much relate to that, because I feel like my personality is similar to Peter. Someone who never really takes anything seriously, but when I see something that I am against or I just absolutely hate, I'll let you know how I feel about it. And if it pisses you off, I don't care. If you agree with me, good. So that's just kind of more or less the feeling I get with a lot of the lyrics. It's like Peter expressing himself, and I applaud him for it. So there you have it with the lyrics. So overall, was this album worth the 8-year wait? I'm going to say yes. This is a brilliant album. Now, is it going to be a top 10 album of the year contender? Not quite. There's a lot of competition, because this year for metal has just been absolutely incredible when it comes to releases. I have not really come across a bad album this year. So overall, as far as a score, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It might be an honorable mention, because after all, people should scope this album out, but not quite a top 10 contender, because there have just been so many amazing albums this year that it's kind of hard to match up against certain albums. But this album's great in its own right, and I feel you guys who are watching this should check it out if you haven't heard it yet. But what did you guys think of Worship by Hypocrisy? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Hope you guys had a nice Thanksgiving and a safe Black Friday. On to Christmas, thank God. But until next time, horns high, and I will see you soon. I do not want candles!
Wow. That's just Levi Christmas getting
Stop it!
on. Like,
I don't want candles! 10 candles? I'm wrecking myself. Screw that.
I feel myself going to a Christmas department store and just hearing someone over in the other aisle, I do not want candles!
Wow, I have had a brain fart.
I do not want candles!
In that voice.
Okay.
Never forget, I do not want candles!
Dick's toy.
No! 10 printers? Are you kidding me? This is the worst! I hate you!
I did not need candles!
I can see that as like a Metallica song. I did not want candles!